I'm Carolyn Grusky at the Natural Gas Canada Vehicles Conference, and I'm here with Fred Zweep, President of Vedder Transport Group. Fred, can you please tell us about your natural gas fleet?
We operate 50 LNG tractors in Western Canada with a return-to-base fleet in Abbotsford, BC. Our vehicles will go to a radius of approximately 675 kilometers, or roughly 425 miles. And the only reason for the geographical radius that they travel is certainly because of the extreme weights that we pull. So we have a reduction of fuel economy versus an 80,000 pound capacity. Those trucks will probably be able to achieve somewhere around 6.5 to 7 miles to the gallon in the area that we transport, versus we're achieving around 3.8, 3.9 miles to the gallon.
And that's pulling how much weight?
140,000 GVW, or 63.5 kgs.
Okay, and that's across a number of different applications, is it?
It is. We operate our 50 natural gas vehicles over 3 applications. We have 22 on a 386 model Peterbilt tractor operating in our dairy fleet, where we operate 7 days a week, 365 days a year in a 24-hour capacity. Our second fleet, where we operate 15 367 model Peterbilts, is in our solid waste fleet, where we have a contract with Metro Vancouver to haul solid waste from Vancouver out to a community known as Cache Creek, where we then offload and reload wood chips coming back. And so in that fleet, we're really putting the equipment to test at 140,000 GVW on 7 and 9% grades over a 425 mile or 675 kilometer radius. The third application that we operate natural gas equipment in is in our sweetener fleet, where we have 13 tractors, also in a 367 chassis for Peterbilt, and they operate in about a 500 kilometer radius. They get a little bit better radius because they don't operate the extreme weights, so we get more miles per gallon of fuel, and that enables us to go over a further radius. So.
How does your natural gas fleet compare with the diesel fleet in terms of your fuel economy?
From a fuel economy perspective, I get the question asked often. In 2 of those 3 fleets, it's very difficult to measure, compared to a miles per gallon, because we do an awful lot of pumping in those fleets. So we do more PTO time versus traveling over a distance. But those 2 fleets achieve a very similar fuel economy to the diesel fleet, because we can benchmark them in different ways. On our solid waste fleet, where we're traveling that 675 kilometer radius, in a diesel application, when we had our diesel equipment operating in that fleet, we were traveling at about 3.9 miles to the gallon versus our natural gas fleet at about 3.8. So we have a slight reduction, but the reduction is really minimal when you compare the financial difference between a diesel liter and a natural gas liter.
So that's where it makes sense to be a natural gas fleet?
Absolutely. No question it does.
What about the maintenance costs on your natural gas fleet?
Yeah, we now today have about 470,000 hours on the equipment, and we've now pushed over 20 million kilometers. So we're probably one of our fleet and UPS's fleet in the United States, we probably have the first benchmarking of any kind, and we're operating at about 1 penny per kilometer more for the natural gas fleet versus our diesel fleet. And we've been operating our natural gas fleet now since October 1st of 2010. October 1st of 2011.
What have been the technical problems that you found with the natural gas fleet?
It's a great question, and one that often gets lost when people are trying to compare a diesel fleet to a natural gas fleet. What I caution people to do first and foremost is be certain that you understand that you're talking about the technology. The natural gas component to our engine is the technology. The engine itself still runs on a block, no differently than a diesel fleet. And some of the challenges, though, that we've had with the LNG technology, they've been really quite minimal. We've had some chafing in some lines. One example would be a crossover line. You fuel a natural gas vehicle from one side of the vehicle, which is the driver's side, and so you have to have a crossover line going to the passenger side. Because of the extreme coldness of the fuel, you'll have expanding and contracting of that line, which has caused some premature failure there. We've also had some chafing because of the PSI that we're pushing through some of these lines versus a traditional diesel piece of equipment. We've definitely had some chafing of that equipment of that line, simply because of the vibration that's being created. We've had some minor tank issues related to vacuum. So the success of an LNG tank is really related to the vacuum of the tank, and we've had 3 in our fleet where the vacuum has been lost prematurely. Other than that, from a natural gas perspective, those are the minor issues. From a major perspective, an LNG tank, different than a diesel tank, has a pump inside of it. And we've had some premature failures on the pumps. We consider those to be more major, simply because you have to dismantle the tank and then get inside the tank to be able to get to that pump. But again, they've really only been minor. The main issue that we've had, though, is on our block. And we operate a total of 400 tractors in our fleet. Of those 400 tractors, we operate 100% Cummins power. The 50 natural gas tractors, that's a Cummins block engine. Our 350 diesel tractors, those are Cummins block engines as well. And Cummins is, they have 3 families within their engine category. Family 1 is for an 80,000 GVW. Family 2 would be for 105.5 GVW. And Family 3, which is really the most extreme, is at 140,000 GVW. Interestingly enough, our natural gas fleet, we've had 9 piston failures. We've also had 15 in our diesel fleet. And it's related to a compressed compact issue that Cummins is aware of. So do I consider that to be a natural gas failure? We don't. We consider that to be a block failure.
What has been the best part of moving to part of your fleet to natural gas?
Oh, the best part, moving to it? Well, it's been an exciting evolution, certainly. Going from a traditional diesel fleet. In our industry, we don't really have a whole lot of innovation. Natural gas technology is very innovative, and we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun from our driving fleet through to our office and administrative fleet, all the way through to our customers. They embraced the fact that we were the pioneers that stepped outside of the box, per se, to try something new, and it's definitely worked for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.